Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocket.radio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
It is Coffee Ann time here on ONAM and FM. Thanks for joining us on Tuesday morning. It is Tuesday. It's not Wednesday,
Tuesday,
right?
Yeah.
I like pushing things right along.
Yeah.
It's Wednesday morning. No, it's Tuesday morning, everyone.
Yeah. Don't confuse people.
I'm sorry. Tuesday, August 20th, here in the year 2024. Nice of you to join us. I'm Joe Callahan. That's Linda Tebow over there. Hi, Linda.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. And Ed Cruz with us. Good morning, Ed. Hello there. And it's time for a first message from the Carew Investment Group. So go ahead, Ed.
Okay, thanks, Joe. Good morning, everyone. Are you retired or retiring?
Keep talking.
Why did you hit that?
There was a slight short in the wire.
A short.
Yes, and now it's
Oh.
gone, so people can hear you now.
Okay.
So go ahead, start again.
I thought he was trying to
No.
use his pen.
From the top, Ed.
Okay.
Be a good day.
Are you retired or retiring soon? That's great. Congratulations. You may be retiring, but your money can't afford to retire. I'm Ed Carew of the Carew Investment Group at 2190 Mendon Road, Suite 3 in Cumberland, Rhode Island. At the Carew Investment Group, we offer personal investment management of client money, especially from proceeds of their 401k distribution after they leave the workforce. So to find out more about our services and for professional management of your investments, you can call me or Paul at 765-8880. Securities are offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC, and advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
All right, Ed, very good. So after reading through Ed's emails that I get every weekend and hearing from our national news, so it's this coming Friday.
What's this coming Friday?
Well, it's the Jackson Hole meeting.
Thursday,
meetings
Friday,
in Jackson Hole,
Yeah.
Wyoming, where Powell will be out there.
Yeah.
And he'll be talking about interest rates.
Yeah, he will.
And what will he be saying about them, Ed?
I have no idea. He's gonna say a lot of nothing.
Oh, okay, good.
He's not gonna say anything that we don't already know.
Okay.
He's probably gonna say something like, "We're approaching the time that we can lower interest rates because inflation has come down, unemployment rate has risen, these kinds of things, and the numbers that we've been trying to attain over the last 2 years, we're very close, and we're at the point where we can consider lowering rates."
So
if he says anything
we'll
about
consider
it, well, he's not going to come out and say,
All right.
"We're lowering rates tomorrow or
Okay.
next week or September 18th." He won't say that.
Okay. All right. Now, this meeting, I'm sure, was planned well in advance.
Oh, yeah.
But was it planned well in advance so that they're having it specifically after the Democratic National Convention ends?
I don't think so.
You don't think that was taken into
No,
consideration?
I don't think so. The Fed
Okay.
is not too concerned with politics. They're on their own. They don't have to
Okay.
answer to anyone. They like to say that they are independent.
Okay. Well, I guess it can work in the Democrats' favor or not in their favor. They can't talk about the interest rates because they're not doing anything with them, so they won't bring it up at the convention. So last night was yesterday was the beginning of the convention in Chicago. I hear Gina Raimondo spoke.
I saw that on the news today.
But I don't know what she said or anything like
she
that.
talked about
other than endorse
how-
Harris. So, okay.
Well, yeah, because in the Cliff Note version was that, when she took over as governor, Rhode Island was in the worst shape ever economically, and she had a plan and she fixed it. And guess what? Kamala has the same plan, so she's going to fix it.
Okay.
That's kind of it in a nutshell what she said.
All right.
I mean, I didn't hear the whole thing, but
Have you seen the jokes though going around, mostly on the internet, mostly and on Facebook, saying, if things are so great under Biden, what are they going to fix?
that's true.
So what needs to be fixed if things are so great?
Nothing to fix.
I don't know. It's a joke. It's a rhetorical joke, and there is no answer to it. And the other one going around is, Harris says, "Oh, I'm going to lower food prices on day one of when she's a president. And the question is always, well, you're the vice president right now. Why don't you lower them right now?
Well,
It's another rhetorical
she's
joke. by the
talking
way.
about price caps,
Yeah.
you know, to fight inflation.
But that really hasn't worked in the past,
It's
has it?
not going to work in the future either.
Okay, so let's try it again.
Price controls do not work. All they do is cause inflation.
Yeah.
And they cause a black market, and they cause shortages.
Oh, good.
Not necessarily in that order, but that's what they cause.
Yeah. So we're going to try it again, though, because this time they know better. That's another rhetorical question. All right. So, well, you got to have a plan, and that's her plan. And Linda brought this up before we went on the air. So what? Harris wants to give everybody $25,000 as their
First-time home
for first-time home buyers, and that'll be their down payment
sounds like it.
for whatever house they decide to buy.
Uh-huh.
All right. Did you hear about this, Ed? That Harris wants to do this.
The
if she- if she's
25,000?
president? The
Yeah.
25,000.
Oh, yeah, I heard.
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
What will that do? Will that help the economy, or will that hurt the economy doing something like this?
I cannot really see how it's going to help the economy. I don't think that's what she's trying to do
she's
with
trying-
that. She's trying to
Okay.
she's trying to make housing affordable for people who can't afford it
Okay.
by giving them money for a down payment.
Yeah.
Of course, that's probably going to cause housing prices to go up.
Up. Yeah.
Because giving somebody money to buy a house does not make more housing.
No. Well, yeah, but she has a plan to build more houses too. I forgot how many millions of dollars. It was
to
in
build more affordable housing, or
more affordable housing. Yeah, millions,
Okay.
millions. And so that was in the same speech.
Her
But
same
I
economic
kind of
speech?
lost her when she
Okay.
said they're going to give everybody $25,000
Yeah.
first-time home buyers.
Uh-huh.
Because my concern is, and especially if it's affordable housing, my concern is if they don't have the money for a down payment,
how are they going to afford the mortgage?
how are they going to afford the mortgage?
The mortgage and the upkeep.
Huh?
And the upkeep.
And the upkeep
You know,
and the
Yeah.
a
maintenance.
few years
all
down
of
the
the
road,
above.
you're going to need maintenance.
Well,
stuff,
not only
yeah.
maintenance, but I mean
Insurance.
the mortgage, insurance,
Taxes.
taxes,
Yeah.
plus all the regular stuff like utilities that you,
Oh yeah. Your electricity.
all of the
heat,
above that
yeah.
you need anyways, and food.
Oh yeah, there's that too.
So yeah.
So on that plan, I will see my son in a couple of weeks, and he's right in that age group that would be perfect for this. 30 years old,
30 years old, yeah.
looking to
Buy a house.
Looking to buy a house. He's looking at the prices, going, how am I going to afford a house?
Yeah.
And if someone's going to give me $25K to put a down payment, there'll be people like him that says, now I can afford a house. Well, they think.
Yeah, they think they can. But
If someone's going to give me $25,000 for a down payment,
yeah.
and he'll be like others. They'll jump at it.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Whether or not but you're right, Ed. It'll send the prices of the houses. He may be looking at a house now, looking that's like $350,000, and it's going to jump to over $4. And then can you still afford it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I think my first thought was, how about all the regular stuff about having home ownership? Home ownership. It's everybody's dream to buy a house. It's everybody's dream to buy a house.
Right.
But and houses are expensive,
Yeah.
Okay.
and the interest rate's really high.
Oh, the interest rate is still high. Yeah. Even if it comes
It's
down.
come down
bit.
a little bit, though. I think
Yeah, a little bit.
a little
yeah.
bit, not to
Yeah.
speak of, though. Yeah.
Wasn't that what Trump said? If he's elected back in, not that he's going to lower the price of housing, he'll lower he'll put in the lower interest rates,
He
or
can't.
do something to lower the interest rates. I know it's not really up to him.
No, it's not up to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look,
But when
A lot of
when
things-
he was president, the interest rates were lower.
it had nothing to do with him.
Okay. Well, I guess he's taking credit for it. Then.
Why? Of course he is.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what could he do or to take credit for what needs to happen for the interest rates to come down, I guess, for housing.
The interest rates are going to start to come down now because inflation has been coming down.
Okay. It'll just happen.
The CPI last week,
Yep.
remember
Yeah,
you asking
yeah.
what is CPI, Consumer Price
Yeah.
Index, and I said tomorrow actually it's backwards. The Producer Price Index came out first, the
Yes.
PPI.
Yes.
The next day, the Consumer Price Index came out, and that was a good number. And then the unemployment rate came out. And, so all of these numbers are showing that unemployment is going up, more people are being laid off. So that's slowing down the economy. So that means there are fewer people chasing goods. You get retail sales are down slightly in certain types of businesses. Some other businesses that cater to a lower, a not expensive type of clientele, like TJ Maxx is a great place, fantastic store. But they're buying all closeouts from other companies,
stores, yeah.
and then they're able to sell it for a discount. So TJ Maxx is doing well. Home Goods, which is the same company,
Right.
it's all part of TJX. Walmart's reported great earnings last week, so those guys are doing well. But some of the more expensive shops, Macy's, not so
it's
good.
having trouble. Yeah.
And so you're getting two different tiers of in the economy for retail right now.
Yeah. All right. So this is the world. This is what the world's coming to, by the way. Talking about the convention there in Chicago. Free medication, abortions, and vasectomies are available outside the Democratic National Convention. I just can't imagine. I'm going to go stick with the men right now, saying, you know what? I've been contemplating having one. Let me go to the free bus outside the DNC and get one there. Now isn't that a good idea? So this is what's happening. Planned Parenthood has parked a bus near the convention site, the United Center in Chicago, where anyone can get these free services. Take this medication that'll be a medically induced abortion, or let's have a vasectomy. The organization, yes.
Hopefully they're offering contraception for women too, not just.
Well, I don't know what Planned Parenthood is doing. So.
Well, that's Planned Parenthood. I would think.
The organization is a strong supporter of presidential hopeful Harris and wants to make the abortion issue front and center, and so does Harris, for that matter.
Yeah.
Also outside the convention is a giant. Back to contraception. There's a giant inflatable IUD set up by another abortion rights group. So the fun is really happening in Chicago. But I would really love to know how many men are going to use this service. Usually if you decide to have when men decide to have a vasectomy, they tell you they have meetings with doctors.
Sure they do.
You have like a week to 2 week, kind of like a cooling off period to make sure you really want to do this. They check your age because they really won't give it to someone that's 21.
Yeah.
And then you have it in an office. At least that's what I've always heard. A medical office, not go down to the RIPTA bus.
I have no words.
Okay, Linda.
I have no words.
Linda, this is from the
Really?
RN, so
I didn't,
I'm hoping
I
it's
didn't,
yeah,
really.
yeah.
Yeah.
Free abortions and medication abortions. They're not doing the actual procedure, but they are doing the vasectomy is a procedure. I'm hoping it's done by an MD, and I hope there's an RN there too that's knows what they're doing to administer.
Cole, no.
Yeah, knows how to administer the anesthetic.
Yeah.
So that's why I said this is what we've come to, that we're offering this
Really?
stuff outside the convention at the DNC. Yeah.
Wow.
And the Democrats are probably walking by and say, "Isn't this a great thing
Yeah.
that we're offering?"
Well, the only good thing that I could see, not that that I'm very confused. At least, you know how I say about abortion. I always say it's not a method of birth control.
Right.
You know, and I think we could all agree that it's
Yeah.
not a method of birth control. And I guess they're showing other forms of it.
Well, yeah, with
But
a
I
big
still,
inflatable
it's
IUD.
really rather No worries.
Jaw dropping.
Yeah, just a tad. No, I did not hear that.
And I do want to back to Ed, back to oh yeah, it's free, but who's paying for it? I mean, unless the doctors are volunteering their time, which I guess is possible.
Well, Planned Parenthood, though, they have money.
Well, yeah,
You
and I'm
know,
sure they're
yeah.
providing the
I know they're a non-for-profit.
the
but
anesthetics
They
and,
do have. They have money.
yeah. So
Yeah.
okay, well that's what's going on in Chicago. So okay, all right, we're gonna take our first break here on the Coffee Amp program. So Ed, it's back to you for another message from the Carew Investment Group.
Okay, thanks again, Joe. Good morning again, everyone. Ed Carew here of the Carew Investment Group. Telephone number is 765-8880, and we have some simple advice about investing. The truth is, there is no simple advice about investing. The old days of financial uptrends and downtrends lasting for days, weeks, and months are long gone. Sometimes trends last for only part of a day before changing direction. And investing is not an activity for those who can't take the time to study each twist and turn for the opportunity that it truly presents. Since 1987, we've seen them all, and we'll invest for you the same way we invest for ourselves, carefully, very carefully. And it won't cost you a nickel to talk about it, so give us a call at 765-8880. Our office is conveniently located at 2190 Mendon Road, Suite 3 in Cumberland, Rhode Island. Securities are offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC, and advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
All right, Ed, thanks. And the Coffee Amp program will continue here on ON Radio. You can call in your comments and questions at 766-1240. And we're going to get to a message when we come back.
For an Allstate agent, providing protection options that fit your life is something they take, well, personally. Allstate agents are committed to learning about your needs and helping customize protection to meet them. From bundling your home and auto insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage, your Allstate agent can help build an insurance proposal that fits your life. And just as important as learning what you need is learning what you don't. Because helping you get coverage you want with savings you deserve is what Allstate is all about. It's time to get coverage that's catered to you. Are you in good hands? Call Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, two locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. One telephone number, 765-5000. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
The Coffee Amp panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores.
WOON Woonsocket Radio, ON, AM, and FM.
Welcome back to the Coffee Amp program. This is Joe Callahan here with Ed Carew, Linda Tebow, and we did have a note that was called in, 766-1240. And back to more rhetorical questions. Ready?
Okay.
Why is it still called Planned Parenthood? Shouldn't they call it Planned Non-Parenthood? Oh, I like that. Or planned depopulation or planned extinction.
Okay, those are all good.
I like them all.
I like the Planned Non-Parenthood.
Yeah, I think that works out best.
And but it's always been Planned Parenthood
from the beginning.
From the beginning, yeah.
They're being funny.
Yeah,
here,
no, but tongue in cheek. That's really good, though. I like that.
The Planned Parenthood doesn't help you be a parent. They help you not be a parent.
Help you not be a parent. Yeah.
It's very George Orwell. Yeah. It's very 1984. You know. Did you read 1984?
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to the Ministry of Love, where they kill you.
Right.
kind of thing.
Right. Exactly.
Kind of things.
Yeah.
Things like that. So, all right. Little back here in Woonsocket, we had the story this morning. We meaning the city. The city is becoming the very first city in Rhode Island, and we're going to install an AI-powered flock raven, which is a device designed to notify the police in under a minute if a gunshot is fired within 90 feet of the flock raven. All right. In theory, this is a good idea, but 90 feet is not a lot of space. That the gun that's being fired is going to be very close. You know, I'm trying to think. 90 feet is what is that? Is that like 30 yards?
Yeah.
Okay, so look at that as a football field. from the goal line to about the 30-yard line. Okay, that's it. After that, it either doesn't recognize the gunshot or whatever. So, could it help? Yeah, I guess it could. If you happen to be in the right area. This new system is going to go into the no, it's going to go in the Fairmont neighborhood.
Fairmont housing. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, around
A
there,
shooting
yeah.
occurred at the Veterans Memorial Housing Complex a few months ago.
Yeah.
So that's where they want to put it right there. This new installing this technology is $10,000. Now they do say the Flock Raven will cover a quarter square mile from the development into the Fairmont neighborhood. I really don't know if it's going to cover a quarter of a square mile. but-
I heard that this morning.
Yeah. The device will send officers a 5-second audio clip and work in conjunction with the previously installed Flock cameras. The recordings will allow officers to provide human verification that a shot was fired. Okay. I know they've been very happy with the cameras set up and it's helped them catch people that have stolen vehicles, like in other parts of the state. And then all of a sudden they're up here in Woonsocket and they drive by one of the cameras and the police notice it and they said, hey, didn't we just get a notice on that license plate?
Yeah.
And they go and get them and arrest them for the stolen car. So the cameras are working out well. We'll see how this goes. So the first thing that always comes up on these things is privacy.
Privacy.
It's a privacy issue. If are they listening at all times?
Right.
Well, they do say no. Okay. The company stressed that the devices are not always listening, unlike Siri or Alexa, who are always listening. By the way, they say they are only activated and only send out 5-second clips if it hears something that is what the microphones consider is a gunshot. Okay.
Very sad state of affairs,
Well,
isn't
well,
it?
that we
you
have to put these
have
up
a
now?
gunshot
Yeah.
a gunshot awareness kind of
Yeah.
very sad state of affairs.
And
Wow.
to use another good cliche, tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
If this works and works well, then we need to have more.
Oh yeah.
We gotta have it over there and over here
Well, they
and over
already
here.
said
We gotta
they already
surround the
said
city with it.
They will put it in the housing.
All the elderly housing. Yep.
all of the housing developments.
Oh, housing developments.
Yeah,
Okay.
in Woonsocket, yeah. It's a sad state of
Even
affairs.
are they going to test this first and then put it up?
Well, it
Or
sounded.
it's just it's all coming.
What I heard on the news this morning is, yeah, it's like a pilot program,
Yeah.
a test thing, and if it works, they will expand it.
Oh, okay. The devices will have a limited 30-day retention period after the shot's been fired. They have to do something within,
Yeah.
look it up within 30 days, and then it's going to be deleted. Although I'm sure it could be pulled back somehow. Nothing is ever really deleted, right? That's what they say about the internet.
Well, I don't know. Is it going to be on? I don't think it's going to be on the internet.
Well, I don't know. Usually it would just be saved to a hard drive somewhere.
It could be.
Yeah, but I think that would the police access the shot through the internet for speed purposes?
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure they will.
Yeah. Okay. The officers will have a case number, and they need a reason to sift through the archives. So that's that. It's coming. It's just back to this is what the country's come to. This is the next thing. Big Brother is watching and listening. Although they do
But
say
you
not
know,
at all times, but well, okay.
The sad part is that there's a need for that.
Well, yeah.
If we come to that,
Well,
Yeah.
I wish we had this story yesterday. We had the police chief with us, and we could have asked him about this.
Yeah.
And how this is going to help.
Yeah.
And like that, but unfortunately, the story came out after we had him here.
Well, I'm sure it's going to help. I mean,
Yeah.
things like that, that new technology, I'm sure it's going to help. But the fact, that we have come to that,
Yeah.
that is needed, is, yeah.
That's it's the world in 2024.
The world of 2024, huh?
That's right. So okay. And another not so great story: a 29-year-old Woonsocket man faces charges possession of child pornography. They arrested the Internet Crimes Against Children's Task Force arrested Ivan Parento. He was arraigned in 6th District Court. Parento's bail is at $2,500. You think it would be higher? With surety, and he's out. I guess he made bail. He's to have no contact with minors and very limited internet use. No other information was available on that. And also, remember we had the story about a month or so ago. Actually, it's less than a month ago. The woman from Foster who left her child at the Lincoln Mall in the car so she could go pick up her food at
And
the
then
Asia
shopping
Grill
and
and a little
shop-
shopping
a
at
little
the
shopping,
Ocean State job lot. She was in court yesterday. From what I read, she didn't enter a plea. And I guess she didn't have to.
Well, she thought you did nothing wrong because she cracked the window.
That's right.
Remember that?
Yes. She was released on $1,000 personal recognizance because I guess she hasn't been in trouble before. So we're going to give you a break on this one right here. And so she's due back at court in November, I guess, when that may be trial time or whatever. So we have a little time between now and then for the lawyers to get together and say, you want to plead to this, and, you know, you can avoid jail time kind of thing. And but then, you know, it's on your record that, you know, you've been convicted of this child neglect or whatever. So we'll see if something comes of that. So yeah, so that was yesterday down in the 6th District Court, which is down in Warwick. So, and then we had the assault and the kidnapping of an elderly Coventry woman. I don't know if you heard about this.
No.
We don't have. I wish we had a little bit more of the facts, but it says a 53-year-old man by the name of Stephen Henning allegedly met and then followed an 80-year-old woman who was at Wendy's having something to eat, and followed her home with the intent of stealing her car. Now the question I have is, was he running, trying to keep up with her, or did he have his own car that he didn't like?
Yeah.
I like yours better. You're an 80-year-old woman. I'm gonna, you know, follow you
And take your car.
and take your car. But that part I don't have.
No.
It just says he followed her with the intent of stealing her car. But, you know, sometimes things don't go as perfectly as planned. As usually when you're breaking the law, sometimes you know, stumbling blocks show up. And he ended up now he's accusing of assaulting the woman, and then he put her in the trunk of her car and drove from Coventry to Smithfield, which is, it's not a long ride, but if you're in the trunk of the car, it's a good 15
ride.
minutes,
Yeah,
15 to 20
yeah,
minutes
yeah.
to get from there to here. And they say, police claim that the man, he tightened a belt around the 80-year-old woman's neck and left her for dead. Wow. But she was survived and was able to find help. I don't have how she got out of the vehicle. Your newer cars have those safety features inside trunks.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can pop them from the
Yeah,
inside.
yeah.
Maybe that was the situation.
Yeah.
Good for her if that's the case and she figured it out. Or, although it does say, did she drive to a wooded area? Yeah, wooded area, but maybe she, you know, yelling for help, pounding on it, and someone hurt her. I don't have that information either, but she survived.
She's okay.
And she's okay. And this guy was he was arraigned, so he was arrested. So they found him. How they knew it was him, I don't know, but they did say they met, so maybe they exchanged names and pleasantries and like that, and so she was able to identify the guy, and they
I
went and
bet
got her.
she was,
But
yeah.
that's a scary ride.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah.
being in the trunk and bouncing around back there, you know, the shock absorbers don't really help out when you're in the trunk,
Wow.
kind of thing. And I was like, wow, and it's a long drive, especially, and there's no AC
No.
in the
Wow.
trunk. It's like that's pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
All right, so that's what took place yesterday. We're gonna take a look at the forecast right now, and the forecast is being brought to you by KFC.
Partly sunny skies today with a high of 72 degrees. Tonight, partly cloudy, overnight low of 51. Wednesday's weather, sunshine and 71. Thursday's weather, sunshine and 71. Friday, sunshine and 77. Saturday, sunshine and 81. Sunday, mostly sunny and 84. And on Monday, mostly sunny skies and a high of 83.
Outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street with the cloudy skies, we have 65 degrees. Every Tuesday at KFC, get a taste of their 8-piece drum and thigh bucket for just $10.
Seasonal allergies got you down? The Honey Shop has a solution. Breathe. It's the all-natural cold and allergy remedy made right here in Woonsocket. Or perhaps you have sleep problems, arthritis, or some other ailment that you're looking for a natural solution. The Honey Shop is also starting classes again. So if you're looking to learn something new, stop by 1300 Park Avenue in Woonsocket near Park Square, or give them a call at 401-766-1488. The Honey Shop.
Hi, my name is Brad Azinski, and I currently live in Washington State. Why does a man who lives 3,000 miles away from Woonsocket care about the mayor's race? Because one of the men seeking that job is my uncle, John Ward. Let me tell you about John Ward, not the finance director or city councilman, but the man, and how he changed the course of my life. As a teen, I started getting into serious trouble at school and with the law. I was expelled from Cumberland High School and soon found myself in the DCYF system, but in March of '94, my Uncle John and Aunt Kathy stepped up and took me into their home, despite knowing their 2 sons would be exposed to their older cousin. John and Kathy helped me get back on track by ensuring I was enrolled at Woonsocket High School, staying out of trouble, and landing my first job washing dishes at Christopher's Restaurant. I'm a proud class of 1996 WHS grad and went on to earn a computer engineering degree. I've since had an extraordinary career where I've traveled the world living in 3 countries outside the US and rose into the executive ranks of Intel and now Samsung. I'm blessed with an incredible career and a family of a wife and 4 children, none of which would have happened without John. He taught me the value of education, hard work, and resiliency. Most importantly, he showed me the value of integrity and doing the right thing. John came into my troubled life and turned me around. Now he looks forward to turning around the city that I call my hometown and all of you call home. I know he can do it because I lived it. My uncle saw that I could do better. Woonsocket can do better too. Please elect John Ward for mayor.
Paid for by friends of John Ward.
When you're thinking about a place to go out to eat with your family or the whole gang, or maybe something quieter for just the 2 of you, head over to ON Radio's website, woonsocketradio.com, and click on the restaurant guide. This gives you a listing of the best restaurants in the area. You can take a look at menus and possibly even make reservations. This is a great resource to see a bunch of restaurants all in one place. Remember, it's woonsocketradio.com and click on Restaurant Guide. And if you own a restaurant that's not already listed, call WOON Radio at 401-762-1240 for information on how your restaurant can be on the Restaurant Guide. Call Joe at 401-762-1240. Coffee In on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan along with Ed Carew and Linda Tebow. And we talked about it yesterday a little bit. So those hospitals in Massachusetts owned by Steward, some are being sold. But those 2, the one in Dorchester and the one in Air, just no one wants them. But Lifespan is taking over 2.
Right.
The one in Fall River.
St. Anne's.
St. Anne's and Fall River. And Ed, the one in Taunton.
No.
Yeah, Morton Hospital.
It's Morton's in
Taunton.
That's in Taunton.
Yeah.
So Lifespan is going to take take over that one. Those 2. Okay. And then the private equity firm is going to take over some of the others. And we'll see what they do. The private equity firm owns a healthcare company that's going to run it, at least for a little while. And we'll see what, if any negative changes come to the hospitals that are run by a private equity firm. So you're always wondering. They always try to.
What
happened with Steward?
Yeah. Steward.
Okay. So, I said this yesterday. Good on a personal note. It's good for me. It works out well for me. I don't know about you, Ed, but my doctors are in Massachusetts, and some are with Morton Hospital, and some are with Good Samaritan, which is Brockton, in Brockton. So,
oh, really?
I'm like, oh, phew.
Yeah.
So as long as they keep those people stay on, and I can go have my colonoscopies, and everything's gonna be great at Good Samaritan. Yay. So yay for me. All right. So that's what's going on there. This is also not a great news, but Anheuser-Busch is laying off 200 workers. I didn't even know they had 200 workers in Medford, Massachusetts. I thought
Really?
Anheuser-Busch had the brewery in Merrimack, New Hampshire.
Yeah.
But they got people in Medford. The brewer is closing it's a distribution center.
Oh, okay.
That's in Medford, and they're laying off 193 workers in early November. The operations at the facility will be moved to a local wholesaler, Quality Beverage. I've heard of them. The facility closure and job cuts became public when Anheuser-Busch filed notice with state labor officials of the planned layoffs. They're a public company. Ed, are their sales just down?
Well, yeah, their sales of Bud Light have really
Have they ever recovered?
not much. They've recovered some, but not
okay.
a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. As you remember last year, they made that move to let's get the woke community. I guess
Yeah.
that's what they were trying to do, and it really, really backfired on their core buyers.
Yep.
Yeah,
Who-
especially those Budweiser.
Who all
yeah.
all right, we're going to boycott you guys, and look, there's how many other beers to choose from,
Oh, there's
Well, now,
all kinds of stuff.
I
Oh
mean,
my
it's all. I
gosh.
mean, yeah. Oh,
and maybe they
yeah.
found something that
Yeah.
tastes similar.
Or
tastes
better.
better.
Or better.
Oh,
yeah.
this is
Yeah.
actually better than what I was having,
Yeah.
and I'll stick with this. And
Yeah.
people are like that, and so I know they laid low for a while. They actually listened to me, Ed.
They did.
I said they should lay low for a while. This is like all last summer, and then when football season starts back up, pretend it never happened.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
back to try to get the football crowd to
Right.
come back and drink yours, and they did that.
They
brought
did.
Peyton
Yeah.
Manning back to do
Yeah.
and they shot commercials that were like
Yeah.
in big macho masculine bars and things like that.
Yeah.
I said, all right, this is going to work
Yeah.
for a little bit, but
Yeah.
I guess not as good as they wanted, I guess. So, okay, they'll just have to keep hammering away at that. Football season's going to start soon.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll start another campaign, roughly the same
Yeah.
thing, to come out and drink more Bud Light. And maybe they should go after not after the guys. Maybe they should go after marketing and go after more women. It's just been my experience when I don't go out that much, but when I do, I see mostly women drinking Bud Light
Well,
and not the men.
yeah. But you know what? I've observed too that I think sometimes the men that drank the Budweiser all their lives, and as they got a little older and getting started a little chunkier,
Yeah.
I've seen them switching to the lights, because there's less calories.
We're all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think women they like the what I see women like not Budweiser.
No.
No.
Are
I
they
mean,
more,
some like many women like beer. I'm
Yeah.
not one of them, but the ones that I do see, they're not drinking Budweiser. They're drinking, those fancier beers,
The more your microbreweries, more of your IPAs.
Yeah, those kind of, yeah.
Okay.
And the younger women seem to be doing those, what do you call them, the White Claw things,
The seltzers.
those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, they like those, yeah.
Well, even Budweiser and a few of the other brewers saw that
Yeah.
and said, we got to get into this
Yeah.
business.
Yeah,
This is where the money
like
is
the
right
younger
now.
women, they
Yes.
seem to like that because it's in a can. You can have it outside, but they don't really like drinking the beer kind of, real.
Is it what is it, a stigma thing?
Well, no, I
we
just
don't want to be
don't
seen
think.
drinking a beer?
I think that I think they. And the other thing is there are all those different flavors.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, I mean, it's like drinking a beverage, soda or something. It's.
And some people, not myself, but some people, they love putting all that fruit stuff in beer. Oranges and
Or
blueberries, lemons,
yeah,
limes.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Well, one of the more popular beers that took quite a bit from Bud Light is Coors Light.
Coors Light, yeah.
Coors, yeah.
Yeah.
Coors
And
Light.
Modelo.
Yeah.
They've just got the best commercials, the best TV commercials going.
Yeah.
I don't know what agency they're using, but those are great. The latest one I saw, and it shows a woman.
Yeah.
I think it's going to a cooler, opening up the cooler, and you see generic light beer cans in the ice, but the Modelo has a bright, like a bright light, like a sun,
Yeah.
a sunshine
Yes,
coming off
yeah,
of their bottle.
Yeah.
And so naturally you're attracted right to
Yeah.
that. I'm like, someone is really thinking at that age is for Modelo. Hasn't worked on me yet though, because I haven't bought any.
No.
You haven't bought any Modelo?
So I haven't really tried it. Have you tried it then?
Yeah, that's what I generally drink.
Well, you used to like Stella Artois. Is
I
that
do.
how you say that?
I still like Stella Artois, but,
Okay.
but I like Modelo.
But you like Modelo too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. If you were to compare it to another beer, what's it similar to?
Maybe close, maybe similar to Corona, possibly.
Corona? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both Mexican.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you have to have a
I
lime? with
also
the,
like Pacifico,
yeah,
which is Mexican.
Mexican as well. Okay. All right. So that's
No, you don't have to have a lime with it.
No.
It tastes good just the way it is.
without it.
just-
Okay.
Yeah, well, now I see women drinking that, the Corona.
Do you
I see, yeah.
the Corona beers?
The
Okay.
Corona with the lime.
All right. So
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Bud. Well, that's how they've always served it.
Yeah, yeah.
Corona with the lime. So I guess it's Bud Anheuser-Busch still has a ways to go to try to get back to where they were before their stumble last year. Okay. Up in Boston, a defamation lawsuit filed by the former Boston Police Commissioner Dennis White has been dismissed by a federal judge. White had accused the city of Boston and former acting mayor of Boston, Kim Janey, of defaming him, violating his right to privacy, and a lack of due process. White was placed on leave 2 days after he was appointed commissioner by Marty Walsh in 2021 over domestic violence allegations from a year earlier. Janey fired White in June of 2021 after the investigation was complete. So he tried to go after tried to sue, I guess, and the judge said, nope.
Nope.
It was all done in the up and up, and his lawsuit is done, unless he tries to fight it, I guess. But
Costs
that's the
money.
way it's right now. It does cost
It's
money.
pricey.
Okay. Let's see. Just see. Linda was asking, is there any good news? No. It's all.
Oh my goodness.
It's just I'm looking at Massachusetts stuff. 2 dead people found in North Andover, Massachusetts. A man in Milton is charged with a double stabbing in Boston. Police are investigating a pizza delivery robberies in Worcester. Let's see. Road rage incident in Cambridge. Let's see. Where gunshots were fired.
We got a new name, a new tag for him.
What's that?
Let me give him the bad news. I love giving them bad news. Trying to think of where I heard that before.
Yeah. We've got it. There's got to be something going on. Try.
Try.
Sing us a tune.
The only I guess the only good thing is that at the Democratic National Convention, Rhode Island has sent 35 delegates. We used to send 30.
Why do we get to?
We got 5 more because Rhode Island decided to move their primary from March until April, which is probably Super Tuesday. So they moved the primary to April 2nd and joined other states.
Okay.
And I guess the DNC or the Democratic, the Democratic National Party said to Rhode Island, if you move your primary date to this date with a few of the other states and not having your own or whatever it was, we'll give you 5 more delegates
Oh, they can do. They just
arbitrarily.
Can do that.
Here's another 5.
okay.
Okay. And so they said yes, and so yeah. Now we have. There's the good news.
Okay.
We have 35 delegates at the DNC, and not 30. I don't. And I'm sure all 35, when the vote comes, all 35 will vote for Harris.
Of course they will.
And so I guess that I forget how many delegates you got to have to win the nomination. 278
Well,
or around there somewhere.
I thought she had those votes. Yeah.
But they haven't had
No,
the
they-
official vote
official-
yet.
no, right,
Doesn't that
just the
happen? When
virtual.
does that happen?
Yeah.
It's either tomorrow or the next day
Well, she gives
before
her.
she gives her speech.
That's Thursday.
Is it Thursday?
Acceptance
So-
speech.
okay,
speech
so
is
they'll be
Thursday.
voting
Probably be
sometime.
tomorrow then.
Yeah, probably.
They where they all stand up.
Wednesday, yeah.
The great state of Montana, and our 35 delegates.
It's
Give
got
all
to
our
be more than
delegates.
278. If Rhode Island's got 35.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to be
Okay,
like over
oh, is it?
1,000, like 1,200 or something.
Oh,
like
maybe
that.
I must be. Maybe I'm
You're thinking
of,
about the electoral votes.
I'm a electoral college.
Yeah,
is
yeah.
what I'm thinking of. Okay, so all right, I don't know how many delegates then to get the nomination. So, yeah, and you're right. So, all right, so there we go.
I think the conventions that we used to have when in black and white, when they got up there with all their signs and they were actually deciding, and making
just-
deals.
yeah.
We'll vote for you.
I just saw something
it
like
was
that.
just, it was so.
In the convention they went back to was FDR.
Oh well,
and
that's
on his
that's
first
before
time.
even my time.
But it was FDR's. It was his first time going.
Yeah.
He was governor of New York.
Yeah.
But at their convention, there were two other people that wanted the nomination.
Yeah.
And there was, not physical fighting.
No, but that was.
But there was yelling and screaming on the floor of who was going to get it.
Yeah.
And it turned out, from what I've heard, what I saw, it must have been on the History Channel. John Kennedy's dad, Joe Kennedy.
Yeah, Joe. Yeah.
So influential.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He was backing somebody, not FDR, and he switched, and he got all his people
Yeah.
to switch over to FDR for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I don't know, and that's how FDR got
Yeah.
the nomination
Yeah.
that one time. So stuff like that doesn't happen anymore.
No,
at the
but
conventions.
that's what I'm saying when I say the black and white conventions.
Yeah.
And I think I remember as a kid saying, "Oh my God, this is so boring.
boring.
They're counting these numbers, put on regular,
Is there a
this is
cartoon
so
somewhere?
But I mean, when you look back, that was, really.
Exactly. It's
And
exciting,
you
yeah.
didn't know. You didn't know
You
who.
didn't know.
You didn't know
Who was gonna
until
win.
they did all their voting, and
So it's not like
yeah.
that anymore. We're gonna take a break, but not that it's bad news. No, not really. It's good news. Ernesto is still well out to sea, heading towards England, but the remnants are still with us, and they're warning people if you go down to the coast, stay off the rocks and the jetties because
Yeah.
there's still high surf,
Oh yeah, it is.
and that could wipe you right off the rocks,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna be in real trouble. So
And the
rough-
riptides are bad.
Yes, so the
yeah.
riptides are here because of
Yeah.
Ernesto. So there's a little public service announcement: stay off the rocks
Yeah.
and watch out if you go into the water, because
Yeah.
the riptides will get you. Tough to fight Mother Nature on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, more Coffee and coming up. Please stick around. Nice to have you with us this morning.
I love our Rhode Island shoreline, but our location makes us vulnerable to hurricanes and tropical storms. It's important to be prepared as best we can before the storm hits. You can help by knowing your risks, getting flood insurance, and being familiar with your evacuation route. Let's all do our part to be hurricane strong. The steps we take today can help minimize damage tomorrow. Learn more at riema.ri.gov.
Brought to you by Governor Dan McKee and the Rhode Island Broadcasters Association.
Hi, all parrot heads. I'm Joe Callahan, the maitre d' inside the Tiki Bar. Heard every Saturday at noon on ON Radio. It's 1 full hour of Jimmy Buffett music. Get out your Hawaiian shirt, grass skirt, grab your favorite beverage, and get ready to keep the party going. Thanks to our Tiki Bar sponsors, Attorney Bob Lauder, the Carew Investment Group, Pepin Lumber, and Coletta's Furniture. The Tiki Bar, every Saturday at noon on ON Radio, 1240 AM, 99.5 FM, and streaming online at OneSocketRadio.com.
You can depend on us for public service. ON Radio.
Coffee in here on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us on this fine Tuesday morning. Looks like we got blue skies now.
Oh, I
so
see
the
blue.
the rain has
Yeah.
gone away, so we're happy
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
Well, we're coming up on the first days of school.
I
First day of school's
know.
coming, and we didn't see I didn't see any of this when I was a kid. I don't know if you people saw this as a kid. Do you ever hear the reports when you were going to elementary school and junior high? Oh, gee, is your child anxious about going back to school? Now we got
No.
all these doctors coming out of
No.
what to do if your child's anxious.
No, we
So
were
we just said,
excited
"Go to school."
Go to school. Yeah.
Oh yeah, well they don't want you to say though. Don't dismiss your child if they say they're anxious. You gotta do something. So, and what they say, what you're not supposed to say. All right, if your child comes to you and they're saying that we're anxious about school, you're not supposed to say, "Are you worried about this coming school year?" Because that puts it into the child's mind. I should be worried.
I should be worried. Yeah.
Why? What's going to happen this year? What don't I know? So you're not supposed to say that. They want you to say, "We'll get through it together." Another good psychological mumbo jumbo. So, but I'm sure some kids need it, and I get it. And they ask, however, if your child regularly makes excuses for not going to school, there's obviously a reason. And Dr. Vanessa Jensen of the Cleveland Clinic says it's important to speak to their teacher, speak to a guidance counselor, speak to a mental health professional. Maybe your child needs a little extra help. So, as they get ready for, but I was never anxious for the beginning of the school year.
I remember being excited to go to
Just
school.
kind of
You know?
as excited when I was in elementary school.
Yeah.
And when you're in high school, it's like, oh, I don't want to go back.
Oh.
I was still having way too much fun
Yeah.
not going to school.
I liked school.
And it was always on the first day when you're sitting there. I can't believe I'm sitting here. I can't believe summer's over, and I got to come here for 6 hours every day. And then eventually, all right, let's get back into the swing of things. And as we mentioned this morning, because I looked it up, first school day for Woonsocket this year is Friday, August 30th. It's a full day.
They're going before Labor Day.
Yes, it's a full day for K through 12. Sometimes it's not a half day. Sometimes the kindergartens go early or go first, but not all. K through 12 goes the first day, and then the next thing we have is a 3-day weekend.
Well, yeah, right.
'Cause it's
because
Labor Day.
Yeah, that's why we used to go back to school
After
Labor Day. Right.
So
yeah,
we'll go to school on Labor Day. You won't do much except they'll take attendance. Everybody show up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go.
We're all gonna have a great year, kids.
Yeah.
kind of thing, and then we stop, and then we go, and then we really start on the Tuesday after Labor Day.
Yeah.
So Phil Donahue died.
Yes.
You see that?
No,
yes.
I did not.
88 years old. Yeah. Died
Really?
Sunday.
did
They
not
put out a statement on Monday that he died the
Really?
day
I did
before.
not see that.
It just said after an illness. Didn't say what it was. Didn't say how long he had it, unless you've heard something new, Ed.
No, I haven't heard anything else.
Just it was after an illness. His family was there. Had been married to Marlo Thomas for 44 years.
That's right.
And his kids were there. The grandkids were there. And so he passed away. And he had the Phil Donahue show from 1967 to 2009, something like that. He had 29 years. You do the math. So anyway,
It's more than 29 years.
It is more than 29, isn't it? So I had the story in front of me. I don't know where I put it. But anyway, it was a long time.
Yeah.
And so a long time there on daytime TV, and I would watch it occasionally.
Yeah.
It all depended on who the guest was.
Yeah.
And what they were talking about.
Yeah.
And some of it was just, this is kind of dull.
Yeah.
But sometimes he had on, a celebrity that I was interested in. He never got into the craziness, at least not too much. There were no fights on the show. No one throwing chairs. There was none of that. Phil kept it on a much higher level.
Civilized. He was
Very
very
civilized. Got to the point of stuff. Let the crowd, that was there, the audience ask questions, and so it was good. And then Oprah came along and kind of cut into his audience, and they said maybe it's time for me to step down. And then others came along. Geraldo came along, and then Jerry Springer came along, and things got a little out of hand.
And talk shows they really
Yeah.
changed a lot.
Well, that was a calculated move
Yeah.
by the producers of Jerry Springer,
Yeah.
because he was just like Phil when Jerry started. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
real serious topics.
Yeah.
He started in like the Cincinnati area, very straightforward, but and it was they all said it was good, not quite on Phil's level, but and wasn't drawing the great ratings, and so they said we got to do something about the show, and that's when the producer said we're going, and I saw a documentary on this. He goes, we're going after the David Letterman crowd, we want that age group, that younger crowd. And how do we get it? Well, if you've ever seen Jerry Springer, now you know.
Yeah.
How they
That's
went
how they got it.
how they
yeah.
went and got it.
Yeah.
So there you go. So, but anyway, Phil Donahue passes away. He was 88 years old. Yep. And Linda, you probably know this, being the RN, but we got another medical story here for you. Food that people think of as healthy May not be. And it may contain hidden amounts of saturated fats and sugars. A study out of the Ohio State University found foods like, and we're talking like cold cuts,
Oh, yeah.
like chicken breast and seafood still have the some amounts of the saturated fats and sugars, and not knowing could make it difficult to limit fat and sugar to the recommended 10% of daily calorie intake. Top sources of fats and sugar were from the obvious suspects, cheese and soft drinks, but less obvious sources include cold cuts, no dairy creamer, energy drinks, and ketchup.
Ketchup.
I know ketchup's got a lot of sugar in it.
They do make a ketchup with no sugar in it.
Do that? How's it taste?
They do. It tastes like tomatoes.
And the problem is, one of the problems is the younger crowd, and when I say younger, I'm talking like about 16 and going up from there. Is the energy drink crowd.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, my daughter falls into it.
Yeah.
And I have found empty energy drink cans in her room, and I
Yeah.
said, "Why are you drinking
Yeah,
this?"
that
Well, it's what everybody's drinking in.
Sure it is. Yeah.
It's what all our friends are drinking.
Yeah.
And they see it as a good thing.
Yeah.
Does it give you energy? Well, yeah, because the
Well,
amount of
because it's-
caffeine and sugar in
caffeine
it is
mo-
incredible.
Yeah. But it's the caffeine that I mean,
Yeah.
and that quite honestly, people don't realize that could be very dangerous. You can
Too much caffeine?
Too much caffeine. Yeah. Not to
And-
mention the sugar.
Yeah. So
know.
she's going off to college,
Yeah,
and
and
this is the exact market group
Yeah,
that
they want.
that
yeah,
they want,
that they
and they
want,
got.
Yeah. And
And,
they're tired. They're going to be up late. They're
Yeah.
going to get up for classes. You
And
know.
it's-
But yeah, and there was a thing. I think we should have not more than 400 milligrams of caffeine a day, and some
Is that
of those.
one cup?
And no, that's 4 cups of coffee.
Oh, okay. How much does this contain?
But in one of those containers, it can have that much in one.
Wow.
In one.
So, I'm trying to be the good parent, Ed, on this
Yeah.
one, and I'm saying, well, basically you're an adult, and I guess you're gonna
Yeah.
drink whatever you want to drink anyway. I said, but please limit your intake
Yeah.
of this stuff.
It's true.
It is just not. It's really not that good
Yeah.
for you.
And that much caffeine is not. I mean, I know they have young hearts, but their hearts are going to get older.
Yeah.
And it's
No,
just
no,
not good for your heart.
Now Ed's has got a bottle of Propel
He's looking.
water.
Is that an energy?
It says it gives you more energy, Ed? What's it say?
I don't know if it gives me more energy. It tastes good.
Okay.
and I don't like the taste of water. So this,
Okay.
Yeah.
this one here is black cherry.
Okay.
Yeah.
It tastes good. There's no sugar,
No caffeine?
no caffeine.
No caffeine.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not an energy drink. No.
It's
that's-
made by Gatorade.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gatorade's got a lot
now-
of
It's
sugar
got
in it.
electrolytes.
Now, yeah,
Okay.
but be careful with electrolyte. A lot of people drink Gatorade, Powerade, whatever
Yeah,
they want to.
any aid.
That was developed for football players in Florida.
Yes, that were sweating out.
Gator,
Gator.
right.
They were sweating out everything.
Yeah, and so that's
To
why we
replace it.
have that.
Yeah.
But John Q. Public.
It's not
there's
sweating like they are.
Even if you're exercising a lot, those electrolytes can really cause you trouble.
Yeah.
You really need to be careful with those drinks.
I don't drink much more than
One.
every 2 or
Yeah.
3 days.
Because it's
I still don't like water.
for us older folks, the amount of sodium in these things is, and even
Oh, that's not
when you
good either.
mentioned the deli meats, those are loaded.
Sodium 230 milligrams.
Ugh.
That's a good amount, because we should have under 1,500 milligrams a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And it's too bad because
Check
I
with my
always
cap now.
I always go for the like a convenient lunch.
Yeah.
And growing up, mother always made you a sandwich.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I wasn't a fan of I'm still not a fan of tuna fish or egg salad or anything
Yeah.
like that. So it was always cold cuts.
Well,
We had
yeah,
cold cuts in the
ham,
house
yeah,
constantly.
yeah.
Bologna, ham,
And then-
turkey,
Yeah.
and depending on whatever the cost was,
Yeah.
maybe roast beef if
Yeah.
you were lucky.
But they're all loaded with sodium.
Mm.
They're all loaded with sodium, and some have, everybody
They
looks
add
at
sugar to
sugar,
it?
but the sodium,
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of sodium.
All right, and in case you were a fan of the Star Wars series, The Acolyte, sorry, it's been canceled.
Oh.
Yeah, after just one season. Did you follow it, Ed? Well, you're going to be a real Star Wars fan.
Nope.
I said the series. They say the series took place about 100 years before the Phantom Menace and followed the rise of the Sith. All right, I don't even know what they're talking about.
I don't know what they're talking about.
The show received poor reception from both critics and fans, while having a drop-off in viewership as the first season went on and on and on. So okay, doesn't really affect me on this one at all. So I'm all set. So there you go. So that'll do it for the show. Thank you very much for listening. As always, everyone, nice to have you along with us. Linda Tebow, thanks for coming in.
My pleasure.
All right, we'll try to have better news for you next
Good,
week. Okay,
please.
try to keep bringing the good news.
Yeah.
Stuff to have the good news. All right, and Ed, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for inviting me.
Enjoy the DNC the rest of the week. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that. Barack and Michelle speak tonight, so that'll be great.
I can do.
All right, I'm Joe Callahan. Have a great day, everyone, and stay tuned for Do You Remember? Gary Smith and the crew here at 9:30 on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news.
A year later, then, there are plans to replace the iconic Harborside Inn on Block Island. Yesterday was the one-year anniversary of the fire that investigators determined was caused by a buildup of grease in the kitchen and the failure of a fire suppression system. Off-island firefighters arrived by air and sea to help fight the massive fire that destroyed the building that dated back to 1849. There were no injuries in fighting the fire, and as we say, the plans are to rebuild. Channel 12 TV News reports the Woonsocket Housing Authority has set to implement a new audio system to help detect gunshots in the Fairmount neighborhood. Woonsocket will be the first city in Rhode Island to install the AI-powered Flock Raven, which is a device designed to notify police in under a minute of a gunshot fired within 90 feet. But why? Well, according to the WHA, a shooting occurred at the Veterans Memorial Housing Complex a few months ago. However, upon reviewing the surveillance video, they realized police had interviewed the shooting suspect without even knowing it. Now, according to Todd Boisvert, who is the executive director of the WHA, he says, "We take security very serious here, and we want to use every possible tool to keep things right." This prompted them to invest in installing the nearly $10,000 technology. Flock Raven will cover a quarter square mile of the development into Fairmount neighborhood. After a shot is fired, the devices will send officers a 5-second audio clip and work in conjunction with the previously installed Flock cameras that we have in Woonsocket. Another reason we're doing it here. The recordings will allow officers to provide human verification that a shot was indeed fired and it wasn't something else.